Why, hello. My name is Gina, and you're at GinasPlanit, and I'm so glad you're here. I have a new Cinderella gazebo, so I'm going to scoot up closer. Now I'm a giant. Look how tall I am. I'm taller than the gazebo. Woo! So anyway, I'm going to scoot up close with you so I can read you Cinderella. 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 So this is Cinderella. There's the title page, Cinderella. There was the front cover. This is the Fairytale storybook series of Cinderella. There's the back cover. So let's dive right in. Once upon a time, a lovely young girl named Cinderella lived in a grand mansion with her stepmother and two stepsisters. The stepsisters were jealous of Cinderella, for she was beautiful and graceful, while their mean spirits made them almost ugly. There's Cinderella. She's doing the chores. There they are, her stepsisters. Turn the page. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters treated her unfairly. While they wore fancy dresses, slept in comfy feather beds, and spent the day eating sweets and prancing before the mirror. Poor Cinderella. Poor Cinderella had to wear rags, sleep on a hard mattress in a drafty tower, and spend her days cleaning the mansion, washing clothes, and scrubbing floors. Even so, Cinderella remained gentle and good-hearted. Her sweet spirit made her more beautiful every day. Every day. Yep. Oh, look at the green on her face. Oh my. Cinderella might have a little dirt on her, but I don't know. She's not green. One morning, an invitation arrived. That night, there was to be a ball at the king's palace. "What shall I wear?" asked one sister, looking at the gowns in her closet. "What shall I do with my hair?" asked the other. "I'll fix your hair," offered Cinderella. "Be glad you're not going to the ball," said her sister meanly. "Everyone there would only laugh at you." Cinderella blinked back a tear. To be mean to her. Poor Cinderella. Poor Cinderella. Once her stepmother and stepsisters were gone, Cinderella began to weep. Suddenly, her fairy godmother appeared at her side. There, she said. "Do you wish to go to the ball, child?" Cinderella nodded. "Yeah." "Then to the ball you shall go. First, I need a giant pumpkin," said Cinderella's godmother. Looking around, when she found one, she placed it in the middle of the road in front of the mansion. Pumpkin turned into an elegant coach. There she is. There's her fairy godmother making her dreams come true. Look at that. Oh, isn't that great? Should we all be so lucky as to have all of our dreams come true? There we are. Next, the fairy godmother pointed her wand at 6 mice and one fat, gray, long-whiskered rat. A ribbon of light swirled around them until 6 horses and one plump coachman magically appeared in their place. And that was them. There's the 6 horses and a coachman, and that pumpkin turned into a coach. Beautiful coach. Cinderella stared at the elegant coach, the fine horses, and the proud coachman, then looked down at her own shabby clothing. "But how can I go to the ball like this?" she asked. In an instant, she was dressed in a pink gown with glass slippers on her feet. As the coach sped away, Cinderella's godmother wanted return before midnight. She warned her. She wanted her to get back before midnight. "For then my magic spell will be broken." "I'll remember," said Cinderella. But when she arrived at the palace and the handsome prince came out to greet her, Cinderella forgot all about her fairy godmother's warning. Uh-oh. Look at her pretty dress. There's her glass slipper. Look at her pretty dress. Oh, it's so pretty. Once inside the ballroom, the prince asked Cinderella to dance. Everyone stared at the couple as the couple waltzed across the floor. They wondered who the beautiful princess was, for Cinderella wore a crown upon her head, dressed in such finery, even Cinderella's stepsisters did not recognize her. Isn't that wonderful? There. How pretty. They're dancing across the floor in the ballroom. Da, 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 da. Later, a feast was held in the grand dining hall. Cinderella sat with her stepsisters while the prince took his place at the head of the table. He never touched his plate of food, though, for he could not take his eyes off of Cinderella. He couldn't stop looking at Cinderella. Look at them. Oh dear. They're jealous, but he thinks she's lovely. Oh, bong, bong. The clock struck midnight. Suddenly, Cinderella remembered her fairy godmother's warning. She jumped to her feet. "Thank you for the lovely evening," she said to the prince. Then she ran from the hall and disappeared through the palace doors. "Wait!" cried the prince. But it was too late. She was gone. In her haste to leave, Cinderella had lost one glass slipper. The prince held the slipper in his hand until dawn, thinking about the lovely owner. "I must find her," thought the prince. But how? Oh, look, she's taken off. She lost her shoe. He still wants to find her, though. Oh, look how lovely. She's a vision. So pretty. The next day, the Grand Duke traveled the land with a small glass slipper. On orders from the prince, he was to find the maiden whose foot fit the slipper, for that maiden was to become the prince's bride. When he reached Cinderella's house, both of her stepsisters tried their best to squeeze their feet into the dainty slipper, but it was of no use. "May I try it on?" asked Cinderella. Her stepsisters laughed, but the Grand Duke said, "By all means, every maiden is to try the slipper on." Smiling, Cinderella eased her slender foot into the slipper. Then she pulled the matching slipper from her apron pocket and put it on. She put it on. There we go. Look at them, their big old feet. There's Cinderella. She has the other one too, because they're hers. So you think it's gonna fit? Yes, it's gonna fit. I know it will. At that moment, Cinderella's stepsisters realized that Cinderella was the mysterious princess of the ball. Falling to their knees, the stepsisters begged her to forgive them for having treated her so meanly. Cinderella forgave them, for she knew that an unforgiving evil spirit destroys all happiness. An evil, unforgiving spirit destroys all happiness. Oh, that's so nice. She's so generous. The following day, Cinderella and her prince were married. The stepsisters were in the wedding as well, each marrying one of the king's noblemen. And so it was that everyone, including Cinderella's stepmother, lived happily ever after. So they all lived happily ever after. How nice. That's a really good story. So I want you to see my Cinderella's